Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Today is April 4th, 2018. 4/4/2018. 4/4/18. Say that 100 times in a row without, anyway. So as you know, as you can see here, I've already started my blunt. I've actually had to record this a few times because there's so much noise, so much distraction coming from outside, some construction that's going on that's not allowing me to do this correctly. But you know, about halfway through the blunt, I've kind of, you know, got my bearings, kind of like helping me not, you know, hear that too much, and I can, you know, kind of get started with the episode. So anyway, what are we going to be talking about today? The obvious. We're in the red, okay? Even though we had 2 days of green and we're in the red today. Look guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, you know what I mean? Like, I think I'm wrong, and I don't know, maybe I'm not. I hope not. I hope we're gonna go be in the green and we're gonna fucking blow up this month. But you know, we gotta be realistic. And like, the reason I'm gonna get a little bit of a reality check today is because I watched this video earlier this morning as I was on my drive. I didn't watch it, I heard this, and they were talking about this thing called the Hyperwave. And to make a long story short, by the way, I'll put the link in the bottom so you guys can watch the video. It seems like we're in the number 7 part of this Hyperwave, and what that means is that we're gonna keep going down and lower, okay? And not to say that we're not gonna fucking hit 100K by the end of the year, still, but it might not be. We might not get there how we think we're gonna get there. It might be a little different than we're all thinking. So, with that being said, like, after watching this video today, you know, on the, you know, Hyperwave, I was like, damn, man, you know, it really does seem that, you know, we're gonna, for any of us that didn't sell. I mean, I sold a bunch. I know most of us didn't. Most of us were hodlers, but for anyone that didn't, man, it's gonna get worse, is the way I see it. And it's gonna get worse before it gets any better. And we're all gonna fucking hit the bottom. We don't know where it's gonna be, if it's gonna be another 4,000 or if it's gonna be 1,300, we don't know. Again, please, I implore you to watch the video. But the point I'm trying to make here is that once we do hit whatever bottom it is, it's all gonna go up again and again, and it's just gonna keep going. And all these predictions that we've keep hearing, 100K, 1,000,000, you name it, they're all gonna happen. It's just that they might not happen as quickly as we thought they were gonna happen, okay? And there's a million reasons to that, okay? Again, we just gotta be realistic and not optimistic. I mean, be optimistic, but realistic with our optimism, that's all. So, I don't want to spend too much time on this right now, okay? Because, like, honestly, like, the way I see it is that, you know, still a little early in the week, okay? We're seeing the cycle continue when it comes to, like, the bonds, when it comes to the money, the cash, and that whole thing. So, for example, today, it's still early, but, you know, we're seeing stocks rebounding. We're seeing bonds rebounding. Stocks not doing so well, but really, you know, bonds rebounding, and we're seeing the crypto space getting hammered, and we're seeing, you know, again, the precious metals getting hammered, and we already know what's happening in a sense. It's things are just getting recycled, okay? And what's really happening, I mean, this is another thing I learned from that video, is that, again, it's all about history, okay? So we're gonna have to, we gotta be naive to think that this market that we're in right now is the only manipulated market in the history of markets. No, in fact, all markets have been manipulated, and it's all part of the market. And you know, this is, you know, that's all, you know, all these things that are going on right now. And like, the reality is that, you know, Bitcoin is just like anything else. And you know, I'm not trying to compare it to tulips or anything like that, but how people are gonna start, how the value of this is really going to start going up again is when people start buying in on it again. Right now, everyone is being shaken out because, remember, most people watch fake news, and that news is telling them to sell, not buy, okay? And, you know, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, really. So even though, you know, we're all seeing sign day after day after day, news story after news story after news story, where Bitcoin, blockchain, all this stuff is just, you know, going to be the future, it's going to be implemented, it's going to be all these things. So why isn't the price in, you know, dictating that as well? And it's because of the people, you know, that's all. It's just because of people aren't looking at the positive stories, they're only looking at the negative stories, and that's how they're dictating their buying habits. Period. In the story. And so right now, up until I feel that, you know, again, watch it, please. I implore you to watch that video. It's very informative. But anyway, once we, you know, once we hit whatever bottom we hit, it's going to start going back up again. And I think how that's going to happen, how the social aspect of to how that's going to happen is that once there's mainstream adoption, like real mainstream adoption, you know, where, let's just put it like this, you know, when the iPhone came out, when the smartphone first came out, sure, it was a big thing and a lot of people had it, but it took a while before we got to where every single person has a smartphone. Like nobody has a flip phone anymore. Nobody has a flip phone anymore. It took a while, you know, to make that transition, you know, from the Nokia, the big brick, to where we are now. Okay, so, and there was a lot of ups and downs, you know. There was a lot of, you know, every time an iPhone come out or a smartphone come out, you know, there'll be more people in and out, and like that. Okay, so. And we can go down the line with everything, like, you know, video games or other technology, like, you know, MP3s, you know, remember, digital music. I mean, there's a lot of things, okay? So the same thing I think is happening with this right now, you know, where right now it's just that, it's just, you know, the wave, you know, where we're just, you know, right now it's, you know, it hits a euphoria, then it doesn't, then it hits a euphoria. So, okay, so right now we're in the, it doesn't hit the euphoria because everyone's shaking out, and then nobody that's a newbie wants to get in on the market because they've already been shaken out, and they have no real reason to like get in on the market because it's not a market to them, you know. It's I mean, some of it is a market, but it's like, you know, people really need an incentive to use these things, and why we need them. So who knows? It might not be until we have some sort of economic crisis, or some sort of corporation start, you know, giving rewards, or start, you know, yeah, you know, pushing the use of these things, you know. But, you know, for now, it might just be a speculative investment, and it might be a bear market for a while. Who knows? I could be wrong, and tomorrow it's gonna spike. Okay, but I'm just looking at it from that perspective. I'm trying to put that perspective on the table, okay? I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we go fucking parabolic tomorrow and we fucking hit 1,000,000, okay? But the reality is, like, after watching this Hyperwave video, okay, about these you know, this guy talking about this and how it correlates, you know, to history, the markets as a whole, blah blah blah, all this, whatever, you know, like really detailing this whole situation. You know, that gave me a reality check, a dose of reality check, and at the same time, it also gave me a lot of optimism in the sense that, yeah, you know, it kind of sucks for the moment, for the time being, but again, like, imagine now that we could go back in time, all right, which is kind of like what's going to happen, where we could buy Bitcoin at $1,000, or buy Bitcoin at a cheaper price, or whatever, you know. So that's kind of like, you know, in a sense, we got to look at it like that, where even if it does go all the way down to $1,000, $1,000, $3,000, or $1,300, something like that, all that's going to signify is the most massive buying opportunity in the history of buying opportunities ever, period, in the story. Because think about it. If it goes down to $1,300, are you really not going to buy one Bitcoin at the very least? Get the fuck out of here. Of course you are. Okay? And if Litecoin goes back to like $40, $12, who the fuck knows? Same as Ethereum and all these things, you know, you're not gonna buy anymore? Really? Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a tricky conversation to have. It really is, because, you know, we all have our opinions on this, and honestly, like, I just wanted to go up at this moment in time, you know, more than anything else. Honestly, just for some personal reasons. But again, like, honestly, if a few things that are line up for me this month, I'm just talking about personal, okay? I really want it to drop, and I really want I want me and everybody to take full advantage of this, no matter what. And in order for, you know, anyone to grow, you got to go through growing pains, and so these are the growing pains, all right? And that's all. The more pain we go through, the more we're gonna grow, right? So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Now, I don't know, man. There's other subjects that I kind of want to talk about, but I really don't want to talk about. Kind of like what happened yesterday with and YouTube. Like, I don't want to talk about that at all because I feel like it's, you know, bait for something, you know, for me to get strikes or this or that, whatever. But if you kind of got what I was saying with that, like, I think that, you know, and I don't even want to fucking say it, I don't even want to whatever, but, you know, that could be a flag. All right, let's just leave it like that. And why I say that is because the day prior to that, I was on YouTube doing my thing, and all of a sudden I was getting some weird error messages. And when I was going to his pages, you know, like Casey Neistat's page or Gary V's page or, you know, Crypto's page, you know, I was like getting a weird message. I was still able to watch videos all over the place, but I was getting that weird message. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm on Twitter a little while later, and I see Casey Neistat. If you guys don't know who he is, he's like a humongous YouTuber. He himself tweeted a screenshot of the same error message, and like, oh, okay, so I guess it's just something that's going on, you know, it's down for a little bit. And then the next day, happens. And it's really weird. Okay, so I'll leave it there. You know, those are my comments on that. All right. Another thing with the whole Bitcoin and the whole, you know, situation with the Hyperwave, I think that, in all honesty, the whole situation with the what is it, the HR 5404, the thing we were talking about yesterday with the gold and bringing back the gold standard and that whole situation, I really do think that this might have something to do with it as well. And also, you know, if these things do go through that, this will help Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies go on a parabolic upward trend. So that's that. Let's talk a little bit more about the state of the crypto universe at the moment. Okay, you guys watching Bcash? Isn't that crazy how it's fucking dying? And I saw today, early today, or maybe yesterday, but it was some point in the last few hours, I saw Charlie Lee retweeted or tweeted the flappening. You know how it's happening, and you know what the flappening is. If you know, you guys don't know, it's how, because the thing is that, you know, he feels that Litecoin, it should be Bitcoin and Litecoin, not Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. And so, you know, he and everyone knows that Bitcoin Cash is a flawed thing, and that at the end of the day, what this flappening chart is just kind of putting, you know, comparing a Bitcoin Cash to Litecoin, and as to where, you know, Bitcoin Cash had this crazy price and Litecoin was still at a low price, but the reality is that Litecoin was supposed to be at this really high price and Bitcoin Cash at this low price. And so how the flappening, anyway, so like, yeah, the point is that, like, we're at like 62%. I don't know, I just saw it and I thought it was interesting. You guys should just check it out. I'm gonna see if I can find the link and put it at the bottom. Sorry. Anyway, but again, I thought that was very interesting, because again, I really do feel Litecoin is still gonna end up going up. It's the silver to the gold that is Bitcoin. That's it. Okay, and I still consider Bitcoin to be digital gold in a sense, and I still consider Litecoin to be digital silver. And yeah, right now, in a sense, you know, it could, you know, we are getting smashed down just like those two other, you know, precious metals are. But in the end, this is not the precious metal. This is not in a manipulated market. Like, I mean, it is, obviously, but it's not. It's just not. It's a little different, because people actually have access to cryptocurrencies where people don't have access to gold. So where people are transacting with, you know, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies on a daily basis in like Uganda or, you know, China or, you know, things like that, you know, they can rise out of poverty with these things. You know, like Roger Ver likes to say, you know, helps save babies from dying. So, you know, because and that's what cryptocurrency, this is why this is like such a revolution, because you know, right now, you know, these people, most of the people around the world don't have access to gold or silver, so, but they do have access to a cell phone, and that's where the cryptocurrency, because at the end of the day, it's all we need is a currency. That's it. That's all. Okay, we don't need a government printing money, all right, endlessly forever. All right. If you don't know what currency is and what currency is supposed to be used for, and the whole, you know, understanding what currency is, I implore you, all the way at the bottom of my links, in fact, the last link is the history of money. okay, by Mike Maloney. I implore you to watch episodes 1 through 8, all right, so you can understand. And if you don't understand it, watch it again. Watch it 8 times. Watch each episode 8 times if you have to, okay? Just so you can understand what currency is and what money is and why we're in the mess that we're in and what Bitcoin is gonna fucking, you know, be here forever and etc. etc. And why a Bitcoin Cash isn't gonna be around forever. Because again, look, like how some guy on Twitter was pointing out about this, where this is very simple. The reality is that no one can remember. We gotta remember this. We keep forgetting these things, okay? Well, I do. Some people do. Whatever. But I don't know. The point is that you can't sue Bitcoin. You can't take Bitcoin to court. Bitcoin doesn't exist, and what I mean is that Satoshi doesn't exist. There's no anyone that anyone can control. Got that? Bitcoin Cash. Think about it. Enough people can sue them out of existence. Okay? Enough government pushback or whatever the hell could eliminate it, all right, and things like that, all right. Now you understand the importance of just what Bitcoin is as an entity on its own, and the blockchain. It's a quick reminder, all right, and a quick reminder. I'm sure already Roger Ver already knows. A quick reminder to Roger Ver that don't be surprised if they come after him, just like they coming after Trayvon James, Craig Grant, and people like that, all right. So yeah. We're living in some interesting times. That's for sure. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate all the love. I really appreciate you guys. Please like, please subscribe, please share, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys are having a wonderful and happy hump day. Without any camels. We know those camels are so fucking annoying.